everybody. Welcome once again to our program, Prophecy in the Spotlight. I'm your host, Brother Dan Goodwin. Sitting with me, as almost always, Dr. Charles Hiltibidal. And we're so excited to have all of you out there on the radio that are listening to us or across the country. And those of you that are brave enough to see our faces here on YouTube, and you watch us here. And we're glad for all of you that are there. Of course, if you're listening via the radio, I hope you know that you can watch all of our programs, TV shows, and these radio updates all you want on YouTube and Rumble. Just go to prophecyinthespotlight.com and you can see it all right there. The Facebook page is there, the YouTube channel, the Rumble channel, podcasting, all kinds of opportunities for you. That the bookstores are there, and you can get access to all the things that Doc has done and written, and DVDs, and the things that I have done, all the books and things that I have there as well. Doc, last week we talked about the CBDC.
Yes.
The central bank.
Not the ABCs, but.
Yeah, the central bank digital currency. These letter organizations are getting unbelievable.
All the acronyms, you can't keep up with them.
The ATF, the this, to that, the Health and Human Services, HHS. I mean, you just can't keep up with it. And boy, some of them are so similar now. But we talked about the digital currency. We talked about Revelation 13, the mark of the beast. No man could buy or sell save he that has the mark. And we understand in our generation pretty much what that's probably going to be. And it could be a chip implant. It could be just something something you can't see. We don't know for sure, but it's going to tie you into the system where you can buy and sell. Right. Just like when you use your credit card and you swipe it. Yep. This will be the same thing.
They're already putting chips in people, and
this may not have to be swiped. This may just be.
Well, electronic skin can. Nanotechnology already has a wire that's 1/1000th the thickness of the hair on your head, so it won't be a problem.
Mind-boggling.
Yes.
And I think there'll be ways to scan you without you even putting your hand over a device or something.
Well, once they get you,
I've seen it
once
on TV
they get your
anyway.
DNA recorded, and that's coming.
But that's, I think, what we're going to talk about today. I think that's going to be. It may not have been mentioned in the article, but that's certainly probably part of it.
The digital identity will eventually be connected to your DNA.
Well, don't they kind of need this to go along with that digital currency?
Yes, eventually they will.
Because if you're going to transfer
it'll be about
money,
the last piece of their necessary puzzle.
If you're going to transfer money from your account to someone else's, don't you have to have an identity?
Yep.
So I got an article here. In fact, our reporter on the street, Miss Tiffany, is the one that sent this to me, and I've got it here on my iPad. It's from harbingersdaily.com, I think. Let's see here. harbingersdaily.com. And it's from, what's the date on this? Thursday, May 4th. That's today.
That's today.
As of the date of recording of this will be a couple weeks down the road for you. Here's the title on this. This was quite interesting. Reduced to a QR code, senators introduce intrusive, invasive bill to digitize all Americans. Yep. And here, this is an article by a guy named Leo Homan, I think if I've said his name right, Harbinger Daily. U.S. senators, and he gives the names, Kristen Sinema, that's a name we hear often.
Heard that now.
An independent of Arizona. I guess she's not Republican or Democrat.
Well, she used to be a Democrat.
All right. And Cynthia Loomis, Republican of Wyoming, have introduced Senate Bill 884. And so you may want to go Google that out there in Radio Land and YouTube Land. You may want to Google this and check this out, because by the time this airs, this thing may already be headed toward the House floor. Who knows? Because right now
eventually it will be.
This is coming out of a committee. They've introduced this, and it has to be discussed and all that kind of stuff. It's Bill 884, known as the Improving. When has Congress ever improved anything? They're improving something. My goodness.
Well, on their level, it's improving it for them.
They're calling this bill the Improving Digital Identity Act of 2023. Okay, the bill was introduced March 21st and ordered to proceed out of committee on the 29th of March without amendments and with a favorable recommendation from somebody. And here's what the text of this thing says. The lack of an easy, affordable, reliable, and secure way for organizations, businesses, and government agencies to identify whether an individual is who they claim to be online creates an attack vector which is widely exploited by adversaries in cyberspace and precludes many high-value transactions from being available online. And I understand what they're saying. There is risk out there.
Trying to prevent supposedly hacking your account.
Yeah, but they always use good reasoning to introduce bills that take our freedoms away. Incidents of identity theft and identity fraud continue to rise in the United States, where more than 293 million people were impacted by data breaches in 2021. The bill calls for the formation of a public/private partnership to bring the digital ID system into being. The public and private sectors, Doc, you know there's lobbyists in Washington, right? You know that before this bill ever got into a room to be discussed, there was a lobbyist somewhere that said, hey, this is what we can do. You need to bring this before Congress and make this a law.
And by the way, we're giving you $100,000
Yeah, by the way, we want to, we understand you like Hawaii. We're going to send you there for a month on vacation.
And if you don't think that's what's happening, you're mistaken.
Yeah. So the public and private sectors could collaborate to deliver solutions that promote confidence, privacy, choice, equity, accessibility, and innovation. Sounds good, right? The private sector drives much of the innovation around digital identity in the United States and has an important role to play in diverting digital identity solutions. And
what they're going to do is they're going to end up tying it to the digital currency. And telling you that it's making your account more secure.
The above section of the bill is extremely vague and left wide open for bureaucrats and technocrats to require a digital ID to perform any function considered high risk, high value online services up to and including logging onto the internet. This gets scary. In other words, if you get flagged somehow, and you may not even be guilty,
you won't be able to get on your internet.
Yeah, you'll get booted out by some bureaucrat somewhere or some AI system.
Artificial intelligence is what's going to monitor it.
I'm sorry, we do not recognize you. You have been blocked from our network. And it's not even a human being.
Nope.
I like when you try to get online on someone's website, and this robot thing comes up and says, click all the airplanes in the picture to prove you're not a robot. So a robot is telling me to prove that I'm not a robot.
You're not a one.
It's funny. And globalists with ties to the United Nations and World Economic Forum have for several years advocated a digital ID requirement as a way of removing so-called disinformation from the internet. So who determines what's disinformation?
You know, it's amazing, though. These are the same people that don't think you ought to have a digital ID in order to vote.
Yeah. Not an ID at all.
No ID at all. So you ought to understand this is all about control.
And these are the people that censored all the doctors who were trying to warn us about something.
That's right.
And these are the people who have censored us about what we can say about elections. These are the people who, we could go on and on. And they want to school us here and tell us that they want to protect us somehow.
And you need, and our listeners need to understand, this is going to happen. It is going to happen at some point in time.
Once everyone has a digital ID, it becomes easy to restrict everyday human movement and activity based on one's social credit score.
There you go.
So there's going to be some kind of grading system as to what kind of a human being you are.
If they discovered you went to the gun sale last Saturday.
How'd you know I was there, Doc?
That's what I'm saying. They will be able to say, okay, we're going to penalize him. 5 days you can't enter in. Oh, yeah.
Once everyone has a digital ID, it becomes easy to restrict everyday human movement and activity based on one's social credit score, like in China they do this, which Klaus Schwab, well, we call him Santa Claus, has stated is the model, the Chinese model is the model for many other nations, he believes. If your score dips below a certain point, you are now a high risk individual, and your digital ID would simply be flagged.
All you got to be known as a Christian, and you will automatically be in that category.
The government, working in collusion with big tech in their ongoing public-private partnership, simply block you from logging onto the internet. You will no longer have a bank account, get a driver's license. You can't receive health care, obtain a passport, or any other high-risk privileges in italics. Privileges. Privilege, something the government has given to us. We have already seen how the government worked hand in glove with big tech and corporate America to silence dissidents on things that we can't mention on here.
That's right.
And passports and masking and all that. In Canada, the government works with banks to freeze the bank accounts of protesting truckers. The whole 2-year experience we just went through was a dry run for the coming mark of the beast system, where you won't be able to buy or sell without proof of submission to the beast system. Digital IDs in tandem, and you already said this, digital IDs in tandem with digital money.
That's right.
Will be weaponized into a global enforcement system, the likes of which the world has never seen.
We're about out of time, but we need it's coming, Dan.
Yeah.
Now, India has already done this with over half of their population. They already have a digital identity, and in certain areas of India, there are other nations that have already done it in sectors, and it's coming to the big countries.
And
like
of course,
us.
the big change is when they eliminate cash and you only have digital. So
and
right now it's tandem, that they have both.
That's it. It's going to come together. You know, everybody said, well, I'm going to store up my $100 bills. Well, one day they won't be any better than a piece of toilet paper.
I'm welcome to hang on to yours for
until that time comes. And then people say, well, I'm going to hoard up my gold and silver. Hey, already not that long ago in the American history, they took everybody's gold. People need to understand, federal governments can do whatever they can get by with doing.
And folks, I want to tell you, just in case you don't know, the government is not your friend. The government, our founders gave us the Constitution because they feared government. And they feared the government overtaking us and taking our liberties away, and that's why we have the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. And we have gone way down the road. Now we're going way down the slippery slide.
Yes.
And I don't see us coming back. I hate to say that, but I don't see us saving America or saving the world. What we're supposed to be doing, Doc, is getting people saved and get them out of the world.
Save souls, yes.
Yeah. Well, folks, thanks for listening in today to our program. I hope we've shared some things to make you think today. And we're a prophecy program, after all, and this is right down the line. Prophecy is being fulfilled right before our very eyes.
Yes.
And I'm afraid a lot of people are blinded to it and they don't realize what's happening. I hope you know the Lord is your Savior. If you need any help with that, if you're not sure you're saved, contact us. We'd love to help you with that. Okay, until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.